So we'll get rolling, and hopefully Ian will join us here.
All right.
So did you see Flex Wheeler's post?
Yes, I mean,
I tried to listen to it because he's real soft spoken when he talks.
I've seen he was in the hospital.
Yeah, well, he posted a something. He's coming on now. Apparently, the Vegas doctor that he'd been going to diagnosed him with all kinds of heart conditions and everything else.
Really?
Along with his kidney stuff. Well, he's been driving to Stanford. I think that's in California.
Yeah.
And apparently the doctors there were like, no, those Vegas doctors are like, basically they're saying they're full of shit. And you don't have this, you don't have this, you don't have this. But apparently when they did the surgery on him last time, they put a stent in his heart. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
When they did the transplant.
Right. Okay.
Well, it did something. It damaged the heart. It damaged something to where the body, it's starting to produce blood clots. And it's steadily producing clots, and that's why he lost his leg, because the clot went down to his leg.
Okay. See, I heard that. I mean, based on what he was saying before, is that he had a condition that could affect all of his limbs. So if it was related to a clot, then obviously that was a false diagnosis. Then.
Yeah. Well, the surgeons at Stanford are saying that whoever did the surgery on him didn't do it right, and that shouldn't have happened.
Oh, really?
But I guess there were some issues during surgery where they had to make some last minute decisions.
Right.
They didn't know if there's going to be a long-term effect on it, but I guess there was. So he didn't really say as far as what he had to do now, but I think they have to go back in and fix whatever damage is done to his heart to stop those blood clots. So he's basically, from what I understand, he's basically saying, I have to make some decisions whether I want to go through this or not, or just kind of just live my life one day at a time. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. That's good.
And I think he needs another kidney transplant too.
Another kidney transplant?
I think so. From what I could say, like I say, he's real soft spoken, and I was driving when I was listening to it.
Yeah. And is that due to the issue from the surgeries?
It sounds like now his issues are from the surgery. Like the surgeons in Las Vegas really screwed him up to where he could, like, they told him he could get a lawsuit, but he was like, he didn't want to put himself through that.
Yeah.
Just say he just wants to get everything fixed and get on with his life.
Right. Well, I mean, that alone, I mean, the medical bills can be great from that alone. I mean,
yeah.
So, well, that's horrible. That's not good to hear. I mean, I did see that he was in California for the surgery, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's that podcast, Leo? I didn't watch it, but I saw the advertisement for it. It said bodybuilder dies on stage.
I didn't catch that one.
Did you see that? There was an ad, for his next show, and I meant to watch it before this one so I could see who it was.
On the Leo longevity?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I didn't see that. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I had a picture of a bodybuilder on it. Let me see if I can find it.
Well, it had to have been recently then, right?
Yeah, it's his recent show. Let's see.
Let's see what I can find. I mean,
bodybuilder dies on stage. Let's see. Online now. David who's that? Posnella?
Posnella?
Yeah, tells us the worst outcome of diuretic abuse that he's seen.
So he was on the.
So I don't know who.
Bodybuilder dies on stage. Yeah, I see him.
Of course, it could have been that female.
Possibly. I don't think she died on stage, though, right?
Well, she collapsed backstage.
Yeah, backstage.
You guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Ian, how's it going, man?
Hey, Ryan. Sorry a few minutes late. I apologize.
No worries, man. No worries, man.
No worries.
How's it been going?
We just got cranking anyhow, so we're just started.
Yeah, I was talking about Flex Wheeler. I don't know if you follow him. He's having some more problems.
What's going on?
I guess the surgeons in Vegas messed up on him. They had to put a stent in him when he got his kidney transplants.
They put a stent in his heart?
I think so. Yeah. I don't know why, but this is what they're saying. And they damaged something in there, and it's causing blood clots to come out. That's why he lost his leg. Now he's going to Stanford, and the Stanford doctors are basically saying this has got to be fixed. If not, these clots are going to keep coming out, and you're going to keep having problems. And I think he needs another kidney transplant, if I wasn't mistaken. He's talking on this on Instagram as he's driving, and I can't really hear all what he said. But it didn't say. I guess there was some good news that the Vegas doctors were basically diagnosing him with all these different heart diseases and all this different thing, and the doctors at Stanford said no, they're full of shit. This is what's wrong. Your heart's damaged. We need to fix it, or you're gonna die, or we're gonna continue to have problems.
Wow.
Yeah. So
isn't that crazy that you would think that a doctor would be qualified to make a diagnosis and be accurate, and it could and I mean, because of that, I mean, he could have potentially lost his life, prematurely. So
that must go on. That probably happens a lot more than you realize,
No, it does. I mean, I would imagine it does. It happens a lot,
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of many cases where, somebody gets a misdiagnosis and they go to get a second opinion. That's why I always recommend everybody get a second opinion, no matter what the diagnosis is. Always get a second and maybe third opinion sometimes.
Yeah, I agree totally. I know with my heart thing, I just went through. I got told by several people. One of my old clients was a medical malpractice attorney, and he said, "Thank God I went to the hospital. I went when I got operated on by the surgeon. I did.
Yeah.
If I had gone to another hospital, he said you probably wouldn't have made it."
Yeah, that's sad.
Crazy, isn't it?
Sad. I mean, it's a scary thing that to think that the luck of the draw. If you go to the right place, you're good, but if you go to the wrong place, you can possibly die. That's
Messed up, really.
That's sad. I mean, you hear about a lot of issues of medical malpractice. It's more common, than
Oh, it is, yeah. Doctors are human beings too, aren't they? They make mistakes just like we do.
But see, the thing I find with doctors, their pride and their egos are so high due to their education. They feel they're educated enough to never make a wrong diagnosis.
Yeah, you're so right there. You are so right.
I mean, you can't, even if you're in the doctor's office and you're telling them one thing, they just will. They're so closed-minded because they feel they're on a higher intellect. When just because you're educated doesn't mean you're intelligent. I mean, I know I've met a lot of ignorant, educated people.
I have too.
But then I've also met a lot of uneducated, wise people as well. So it's kind of it's kind of a scary state. I mean, my dad's in the hospital. He's been in the hospital for a week now. He has a lot of symptoms. I mean, his hemoglobin's just dropping like really, really low. His white blood cells are elevated through the roof. His platelets are all off. I mean, and he's been in the hospital for a week, and they've exhausted every test, and they can't diagnose They can't diagnose him with any problem.
Wow.
I guess the nurse, or my mother was telling me that the nurse or the doctor on staff was saying, "Oh, he has dementia," because he's saying some off the wall crazy stuff. It's like, well, for dementia does not lower hemoglobin. It does not elevate white blood cells. It does not throw off your platelets. So you're going to diagnose them as that and just send them home? No, we can't. That's not an accurate diagnosis.
How old is he, Ryan?
He's 78. He'll be 79 in October, so less than a month. So it's not, because he didn't start saying these like off the wall stuff until he started having these like issues. So I mean, it's a scary place to think maybe they're missing something because they're exhausting all these tests and they're not finding anything. So I'm almost wanting to tell my mom, it's almost, you maybe even want to just try to get a second opinion at a different place. I mean,
I've transferred to a university hospital, like UCF or something like that.
Yeah. Even it would be worth, like going to UF. UF is like,
I was going to recommend Shands.
Shands is like one of the best hospitals in the country. I mean, it's phenomenal. So,
yep. They got some of the best teams up there, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's scary, the whole health thing. And You know, I think coming from England, that's one of the biggest shocks when you come to America and you see how the healthcare system works.
Yeah.
I remember when we first moved here, Mac, he must have been a few months old, and he got a terrible fever. We went into a hospital, like a walk-in clinic in California, and I ended up dragging him out of this doctor's arms because they were trying to like get blood out of his arm, and they must have been doing it like 10, 15 times, but they weren't going to do anything until we paid up front for the they weren't even going to look at him at all.
Yeah.
And coming from England with National Health Service, it blew my mind. It just absolutely blew my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite scary. It's quite a culture shock coming over here.
Yeah. Yeah. That's to turn somebody away due to, I mean, there's definitely a lot of flaws in our health system. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think they can do that anymore. Like that.
no, they can't turn them away. I don't think.
No, they can't. They changed that law. They have to treat them.
Wow. That's crazy, isn't it? Crazy. So who we got? Is it just us three today?
Yeah, man, it's just us. Our guest is next week, and then your guy, what's it, Shiraz? Is that how you say his name? Yeah, he couldn't make it, so the time was too late for him.
Right.
So I told him we'd work on another day.
He just won his show in PCA show in Manchester.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
Yeah, he's pretty pleased. To say the least. He's pretty
Yeah. I think I've been tagged in about 12 different things.
Yeah, me too.
But that's good though. It's good. Hey,
That's okay. That's good.
He worked hard for it, and he deserves it.
He really did. He's got cerebral palsy, and he don't use it as an excuse. He just gets on with it, you know.
I love it, man. That's great.
Yeah, well, when I first started training him, he messaged me at first. He said, "Are you used to training people with disabilities?" I said, "I'm used to training amputees, people with disabilities." And he said, "It makes no difference." I said, "The only difference it's going to make is what exercises you can and can't do. Simple as that."
Yeah.
So yeah, he got on there, and I basically just, if he ever like tried to use anything, and he didn't, that I remember, he ever said, "Oh, I can't do this or I can't do that," I'd be like, "Come on, well, just change this or change that." And if it still didn't work, then okay, well, we'll niche that one. We'll go to another exercise. I mean, there's always a way around it, isn't there?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I found a lot of when I had my own gym, a lot of personal trainers in the area were terrified of working with people like amputees because they had one leg missing or one arm missing. They didn't know what to do. I'm like, well, it's pretty common sense, really, isn't it? You just work everything but that missing limb. You know?
I find those more of a challenge. I really love helping those type of people more than most people, because it's
I do.
Yeah, it's a challenge. I mean, when somebody tells you can't do something, I mean, that's a lie. No.
Have you guys ever trained anybody in a wheelchair?
I haven't personally trained somebody.
No, I'm just wondering, and we should have asked Dorian this, because with Gabriel, about how you have to change their diet, as far as, because their cardio is limited, obviously. So
I mean, I remember when I first started training, the gym that I was in was like a bodybuilder's gym. And there was a guy that used to train. I forgot his name. He was a professional, but he was a wheelchair guy. I mean, and the way that he would train, man, was really high intense, and he really, I mean, he was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they burn a lot of calories, just like somebody that's able to walk.
Yeah.
But I just wonder if there's some kind of adjustments that you still have to make minor adjustments.
Now, have you seen the
cardio thing with your hands, right?
Yeah. The hand pedal, the machines. Yeah. I mean, that's really good. But even if I seen the guy, he would go in the parking lot and do laps with his chair to get his heart rate up. So
yeah, you don't think about that. They're doing cardio all the time.
Yeah. No, all the time. Yep, all the time.
Yeah.
You got to take your hat to those people, because if anybody can get an excuse not to train, they can.
100%.
Yeah, I've got a lot of respect for people that do that push to it anyway, without a doubt.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
So I went to my first PCA show. I thought it was really well, man. You guys did a good job. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a few technical difficulties.
Few technical difficulties. Yeah,
I apologize about, but it was unforeseen with the microphones. But
I thought Ian was going to throw his microphone at the DJ a couple times, but he was getting a little.
Obvious, I was getting frustrated.
You were getting a little rack pull rage there, man.
I was. Well, I don't know about rage, but I was a little bit. I was a bit frustrated.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's just, you know what? It's one of those things. Thank goodness Phil had those spare microphones. But I know what I'm buying for my Christmas present this year, some spare microphones.
Yeah.
So lots of venues, if the microphones don't work, I've got my own. I can just pull them out of my bag, and that's definitely every show you do, you learn something for the next show.
Yeah.
There'll be a new thing that goes wrong, or something that don't go according to plan, and then all you can do is learn a lesson from each show and make sure that same mistake don't happen again. I'm sure there'll be a new mistake at some point, but you just trying to eliminate the mistakes as you go along. That's all you can do.
Gosh. I mean, isn't that friggin' life in general? You know, it's just
absolutely it is
taking the bumps and the bruises and then just making things work and making and just learning from your mishaps for the next one. Right?
Yeah. I think the key is not to make the same mistake twice, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you'll learn, pay attention, learn from your mistakes, and move. And it might not necessarily be your mistake. It might be just like I said, technical malfunction. So. It
was. I mean, the crazy thing is, we did a sound check before the show, like we always do, and the sound check was perfect. And then as soon as the show started going, it was like in and out, in and out, in and out. I'm like, oh man! I just put my microphone down, and I was just, you're right there. So you just got to. I have a loud voice anyway, so I just raised my voice and told them what to do.
All right, cool. How was the show? How was the show?
It wasn't bad. A bit lower on numbers than we would have liked, but we had some good athletes there.
Yeah, I think being on 9/11 didn't help.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
I actually would have. I prefer to do our shows on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Because then you can't get any conflicts. But when you do it on a Saturday, especially in Florida, you're more than likely going to get another show on the same day. That's exactly what happened. And that's why I do a lot of my shows on a Sunday, just so we don't get any clashes, so athletes can compete in one show one day and another show another day. They don't have to be forced to. But we got Steve Brisbane came over to judge for us, Ryan.
Oh, did he? Did he judge? Okay, cool, awesome.
Yeah. Steve was there. An old friend of mine from England called Pete Chapman, who was an incredible bodybuilder, should have turned pro, but he never did. So it's great. It's nice to kind of connect with people who you've seen over the years, which I can't thank you guys enough for introducing me to these people. And I need to get you as a judge, Ryan, on one of these shows.
I would love to, man. I would love to, but this past weekend there was no way I was getting.
No, I know.
I was stuck on Gilligan's Island. I was on the island over there off of little southwest Florida, little island called Little Gasparilla Island. It's like by Placida, Florida.
Very nice. Very nice.
So the family vacation, it wasn't as close as I was thinking it was going to be. So I wasn't sneaking out of that one alive. I could have snuck, but that would have been the last thing I've ever done. So
are you free on October 3rd for the Florida Classic?
The October 3rd. I mean, as of right now, sure. I mean, where's it located?
I see you changed your venue. Yeah.
We just had to change the venue because the venue in St. Pete had a lot of restrictions due to COVID, like seating restrictions, masks on stage and everything. So we moved the venue to a venue in Spring Hill, Stage West Theatre in Spring Hill.
Spring Hill, okay.
So it's a little bit north. It's about an hour north of Tampa.
Okay.
But
that's not far from me.
No, it's not far from you at all, is it? That?
No. Right, 45 minutes from me, maybe.
Perfect.
Okay.
So it should be a good show. We've got some good athletes already getting ready to compete. We normally have a good show with our last qualifier. When this is our last qualifier, because our finals is on October 16th in Tampa. Okay. It's going pretty well. Can't complain. This season hasn't been the kindest to us, with the COVID still lingering.
Yeah.
And it reared its ugly head more over the last few weeks. But fingers crossed, next year it'll be gone or under control.
All right.
Yeah, hopefully.
Kind of a normal season.
So speaking on shows still, so we'll move over to the Arnold Classic. That's next weekend, right? 25th.
Yep, that's next weekend.
Yeah, that's coming
I've
up.
seen Lionel Becky can't compete. Did you see that?
He can't compete.
He's
He can't get out of France, apparently. I saw it.
That sucks. I mean, I think Lionel has one of the best physiques in the IFBB period.
I was going to talk about him. It's funny you guys mentioned him because I was going to bring him up. I wanted
I don't know if
to.
you remember when.
Why don't you think he plays is better? Because I agree with you. I think he's incredible.
It's just his overall. He's not able to nail his overall conditioning.
I mean, look at that.
Primarily from the backside, his shape, I mean, he's just amazing. But where he loses it is when he turns around to the back.
I mean, if you look at that front picture there, you're like, how is this guy not a top 3 Olympian?
Exactly.
I don't know if you guys remember when George Fair was on. I asked him the question. I was like, I mean, out of all the people you work with, who had the most potential,
Here's a bad,
but just never fully like nailed it? And I said, I have somebody in mind. And now Lionel was the one I was talking about because George did work with him for a period of time. Now I know that I think he came to the awareness that he had like type 2 diabetes or something.
Oh, really?
And and they were thinking that was why he was having, problematic issues with, the nailing his conditioning 100%.
Yeah, this one here, going to that middle shot,
Right here.
Jason, that battle bicep there. He's pinching his scapula there. He's not doing himself any favors at all.
Yeah, you gotta open that up,
Mhm.
I see, I see so many more people doing that.
I do.
I see it all the time. They pinch it back and they don't fully open it up, right?
I don't understand why they do them. I understand why they think they're doing it. They're doing it because they think it's going to bring more gnarliness out, but it doesn't. It just makes you look narrow.
No, it narrows the width of the back. I mean, number one, and number two, with him, he has such a tiny, tiny waist that if he would just open that up, I mean, the illusion of that would be just out of this world.
Exactly.
No, yeah, I think
him and Kai could be brothers.
Yeah,
they look up. They do.
They do. Look at their face. Look like they're face
identical. But like for like I said, Lionel is probably like, I mean, I think he could be like easily be right there in the running for the top, top spots at any show, Olympia, Arnold, if he just would just like nail it 100%. I mean,
and he said McMillan, he's pulled out, and he said McMillan. I think you mentioned that last time.
Yeah, Cedric's hurt. He got hurt again.
That's a shame. Again, another guy. If he ever got his conditioning right,
Bonac,
he's got incredible physique.
No, he's amazing. Now he's definitely one person that he could win the Olympia title if he was just like 100%.
Yeah,
nobody touches him.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody actually on the scene right now with his aesthetics. You want to put it like just the way he flows.
His flow is just his structure. Everything is like, I mean, he's not missing any body parts. Everything flows amazing. All of his tie-ins are just perfect.
How about this guy here? Is he Chinese or Japanese? I can't tell. The Shang Chu Li.
I think he's is he Japanese?
Yeah, he's quality. He's competing.
I'm pretty sure that's the guy that won the NABA Universe in 2016.
Oh yeah, he was in Tampa. Didn't he compete in Tampa? Right. I mean,
yeah.
He was just. I mean,
is that from the Tampa show? That video?
That looks like the
2020 Olympia. It says.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I remember seeing him there. Now that I remember. Yeah, I mean, he looks great.
Yeah, he looks good there.
Scroll down and see if he ever won the NABA Universe, like all the way down, like 2016 down. I'm sure that's the same guy. I saw him compete in 2016 at the NABA Universe. I'm pretty sure.
What is this one here?
I'll be there all day looking for that one, all right? That's IFBB.
Yeah, it's a pro regional.
Yeah, no, he's got a good shape and structure too to his physique. I mean,
That's
Yeah,
good.
he's been working with
Milos, right?
Milos. Yeah, 'cause Milos posted a picture with him.
Does he live here now?
Yeah, he's here. He's here. He's in Vegas.
Right. Okay.
So this is the end of it here. So this is as
That
far
might
as
not
it
be the same
goes.
guy then. He looked his physique looked very familiar, but
Yeah.
might
Well,
not
it could still possibly be the same guy. I
Yeah,
mean,
he could. There's a guy called Fabian Mayer. Have you seen him?
not familiar by the name, but if I've seen the physique, probably.
Fabian Mayer. He's on Instagram, Jason. He is classy. Get this right, classy FM.
What's his first name?
Fabian.
Fabian.
Is he Brazilian?
No, he's from Austria.
Fabian
Austria.
Mayer. M-A-Y-R.
Fabian Mayer, M-A-Y-R.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that guy win the tall class at the Nabi Universe in 2016. Now he's got his pro card as classic physique. I think he's one of the best.
Oh yeah. Look at
Okay.
that.
And he's over 6'2". He's a big dude. But an incredible, incredible physique.
Yep, I'm familiar with him. I just didn't.
He's got a good vacuum, huh?
Yeah, just if you see him in life, like in real life on stage, he's just put together incredibly well. He just really. I was very impressed with him when I saw him.
Isn't that amazing? How you can see a physique in a picture, then you see him in real life, and it's a total different,
Yeah, absolutely,
different bodybuilder.
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Yeah, not many of those pictures do him justice, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand how they're judging the classic bodybuilding actually, because did you see that show in Portugal
Yeah.
a few weeks ago? The guy that they had winning, I don't think he was classic at all. I just thought he was a short bodybuilder, you know.
Right.
Wesley Vissers, you know who Wesley is?
Yeah.
I think he's incredible. I actually sent him a message the other day telling him not to lose heart, not to lose faith, because
Yeah.
he's one of the best classic physiques out there, in my opinion. Him and
Like
Fabian Mayer.
Very reminiscent of like an Arnold. I mean,
Yeah.
like definitely his like side chest. I mean, if I can recall it. Like, I mean, yeah, he looks good. He's very impressive.
You know, they're the guys.
He was in the Olympia last year, right? I mean, what did he place? Top 10?
I think so, but I would have had him placing right up there in the top 3, in my opinion. You know, from what I see.
Yeah.
They're always saying his conditioning is not right or whatever, but the guys that are beating him, to me, are not really classic bodybuilders. They're not really. It's not really. They don't have the lines he has. They don't have the sweep he has. But
Gotcha.
no, I mean, I'm not an IFBB judge. But I'm just telling you what I see when I look at him. You know.
Yeah.
But I do have a new found understanding of judging, because it's not easy.
It's definitely no, it's not easy. No.
Not easy at all.
It's very tough.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? That's why it takes a very trained eye to, you know, or it should. There should only be very trained eyes who are, even if you have a trained eye, it's still tough, especially when there's two guys that are real close.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like sometimes it's a flip of the coin, but you want to make sure that, you know, you're picking the right guy, you know. It's tough. It's a tough position to be in. People don't really understand that and realize it. But I mean, they always want to give judges hell and flack and
especially seeing it in person versus pictures and on TV is totally different.
Yeah, like we said, like we just talked about, you see this guy's picture, I mean, it's like, wow, okay, the picture is like, okay. But like you said, Ian, when you seen him in real life, it's like, whoa.
Yeah. That's like when Sean Roden won the Olympia, I was there. And I had really good seats. We were like right on the side of the stage, and there was some debate whether he won. But I'm telling you, if you saw him in person, he blew everybody away.
Right.
It was amazing how he looked.
Yeah, I think when you know bodybuilding and you see someone who's dialed in like that, like really dialed in condition wise, it sets them apart from everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to. I think the hardest thing for a judge is when you get two guys that are very similar in size, very similar in conditioning, but they've got different body parts for strengths and weaknesses. Because then it literally is a flip of the coin. It's like, okay, he's got a better chest, but he's got a better back. He's got better delts, but he's got better arms. You know, it's one of those things, and it's tough. And I think that's where you've got to be careful with your judges, because judges generally would will mark people that remind them of their own physique.
Yeah.
And you can't do that all the time.
Yeah, no,
You've got to have an open mind and take your own physique out of it,
Yep.
Yeah. Now, are you guys, you're the PCA, are they kind of like the NPC to where basically you're prejudging decides who the winner is, or is your routine?
No, well, you were there, you saw it. We judge on the spot.
Okay.
So we don't have a prejudging. We don't do a prejudging in a night show. We do a run through show. So basically the first.
Yeah, but you have to do their mandatories, and they come back. Before they come back and do their posing routine, have you guys picked the winner?
I ask all my judges not to submit their scores until we've
Okay.
seen the posing routine.
Okay.
Because if it's close between two guys, like really close, that can be the deciding factor.
I agree. I think that's I think that's a good way to do it, because if it's close, obviously you want to see who the most polished guy is going to be. And the routine should show, a finely put together routine. It shouldn't be just half-assed, because you want the guy who's going to be more polished, who puts the effort into the posing routine as well too. So I think that's good. I think that's great.
I think, to me, I know what, like when I was competing, and you see it with a lot, I recognize it with other physiques. They'll come out and they'll look good standing, but they won't really come to life until the pose. Some people. Which is what frustrates me about the men's physique posing, because they literally come out and do from the front, from the back, and they don't get a chance to actually move and flex, and and not all physiques shine just by standing there. Some physiques shine by actually posing. So I like to analyze every aspect of everybody's physique out on stage. And I think you can do that when you see them hitting other poses other than just the mandatory poses. Like I say, how they move from pose to pose. Don't get me wrong. You're not going to get a guy that's got an incredible posing routine that's going to win it, beat everybody in that show just because he's got a good posing routine. He has to have a physique to match it. But I do think it needs to be still part of bodybuilding, because it's a posing routine is a part of bodybuilding that I feel like got kind of neglected when they stopped judging it. And it's kind of coming back in now that you got classic bodybuilding.
At what point did they stop? I don't know the exact year or time frame is when they stopped really judging the posing, but when was that about? Do you know that?
I'm not sure what year it was. I just know a few years ago when Arnold started kind of slagging off the judging criteria because of who was winning. I know he brought it to light then that they didn't actually score the posing routine anymore. It wasn't even scored on the marks. Well, if it's not scored, why will guys bother putting effort into it?
See, and I think that's another contributing factor to why some physiques just don't improve the way like maybe some guys in the earlier times did, because Ian, and I know, like, the more you work on your posing, the more your body actually improves and gets better.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
By just contracting and squeezing the muscles and hitting the poses. Yeah. One, it helps the conditioning of the muscle, but it changed the overall appearance of the muscle and the shape too.
I agree. I invited a couple of athletes that I found on Instagram to one of our shows, to the Florida Classic actually. And a few of them got back to me and said, "Oh, well, I've got a show the week after, and I think it'll be too much if I do it, or I've got a show the week before." And I messaged one of them back. I said, when I used to compete as a pro, we actually did shows a day after each other. Like, I remember doing 3 shows in 3 days. We did the Spanish Grand Prix, the German Grand Prix, and the English Grand Prix. And even though it was rough, it was tough as hell, we got better with each show.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's one thing posing in front of a mirror, but it's another thing actually competing on stage.
Totally.
When you're actually competing on stage and flexing and going through everything, the following day you'll be sore as hell, but you'll look great. We just kept doing it. And I'm saying to these guys, listen, the more stage time you get, the better. The more times you get out on stage, and the more you learn how to display your physique, the better you're going to look every time.
Because when people practice their posing, I don't really see a lot of people really, really practicing their posing, hitting the pose like full 100% like they do on stage. So, but when you do that, I mean, you see the clear difference in an individual that, you know, who does practice the posing like that, who's contracting and going, you know, full posing, and you're doing that for, you know, say 30 minutes a day, the physique is going to change just due to that alone.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, look, Flex Wheeler back in the day. I mean, he kind of, I don't know who made him do it, but he used to hit each pose and hold it for like 30 or 40 seconds. Well, if you're actually trying to do that, that's not easy, man.
That's what I do with a lot of people if they're struggling. I mean, if they're working on their poses, I'll work them like that. Slowly start, you know, adding time to their posing. Like each week, I'll, you know, first week maybe 10 seconds, second week maybe 15, then 20. Just slowly adding 5 seconds to the posing to hold each pose. Because I tell everybody, I mean, you get on stage, and if you, it depends, you know, if the judges are working you, you're going to be screwed if you're not used to holding those poses, you know. So,
oh, you know the ones who's practiced. You can tell. Especially when you get backstage, you can tell the ones that are the ones that are about to fall out back there.
I actually got criticized for running some of our guys in 2019. We had a tall bodybuilding class at one of our qualifiers.
We seem to be always the one that gets run the most.
Well, the thing is, like, I want the judges to see everybody in every position, you know, because the lighting can be a little bit different, and you know, you want to compare people at the side of each other. And I just kept running them through. I probably put them through the mandatories 4 or 5 times. And I got criticized for doing it by one of the coaches, which kind of, and I'm like, well, you know, like proper criticizing me backstage. And obviously it gets back to you. Yeah. I'm like, man, you don't understand. I'm doing you a favor. I'm giving you stage time. You know, that the only mistake that was made here is that guy didn't practice his posing enough. Simple as that. But I guarantee when he competes with us again, I guarantee he'll practice before then. You know, and he'll be fine then. I mean, if you practice hard enough in the gym, the day of the show's easy.
No, yep, 100%.
Yeah. Yep, definitely.
All right. So what's do you have the list of the competitors? I know there's for the Arnold.
Yeah. We Lionel, we already spoke about him. William Bonac.
So William Bonac has to be probably the highest ranking guy going into the show. So he has to be the heads-on favorite going into the show, I believe.
Yeah, he looks really good. Max Charles.
Okay.
He's one of Milos's. He's coming on the show. He's getting through this and Olympia. So he's ready to come on.
When you're in the trenches, man, sometimes it's hard to stop and, you know, just take time out and just talk. And especially at 7 o'clock at night, you're like ready just to chill and relax and start getting those cement feet. You don't want to budge and move, let alone talk.
Yeah. Let's see. The Chinese guy, Suang Cho Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about him. Muhammad El Iman.
So he's done pretty much every show this year. Phenomenal physique too. I mean, amazing physique.
Is that the shorter guy that Flex were working with?
Was that's Hassan Muhammad.
Right. Let me pull him up.
Yeah, but he's just that's another guy right there, man. If he would just,
let's see,
just nail it. I mean, I don't see how he gets beat. I mean, he's just so stacked and so like thick and has every muscle, has every part. But with him, like I said, the conditioning just from the back, especially, is just a little soft. I mean, who knows what it can be? I mean, who knows? I mean, there's so many different variables that could come into play, and
yeah, there is.
Unless you're, you know, working with that individual and you know exactly all the variables that are going on, it's hard to say, well, yeah, what's happening. So
yeah, this is him here.
Yeah, the guy has some friggin' wheels on him too. I mean,
yeah, he does. How old is he? I wonder how old he is.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's with Flex here, so he looks like he's close to his 40s at least. He's not young.
Yeah. It's him.
This is the Texas. What do you get here?
Yeah, he's in the top. He's always in the first call out on all these shows. I think he's competed in every single show this year.
Yeah. Oh, he's definitely got some wheels on him. That's for sure.
He's got a nice taper too.
He has all the body parts, especially, you know, the back double is, I mean, everything's there. Just, I mean, sometimes he's just a slight bit off where these other guys are just edging him out, just, you know, on conditioning. So, I mean,
Especially at that level, there's not a lot between the guys, is there? You
it's
know?
yeah, it's and you know, sometimes it's just the guy that has the better structure, and I mean, where he has a phenomenal structure, he's just like sometimes he's just like a hair off, where these other guys are just a hair above him. So
Yeah.
it's just like I said, sometimes it's like that toss of the coin. I mean,
It's tough, man. It's a tough sport.
it's tough sport, toughest sport there is, man.
Yeah, without
You better have tough skin too. 'Cause, I mean, I don't care who you are. I don't think there's an undefeated bodybuilder in history of bodybuilding. So
no.
You got the Kuklo.
yeah, he's doing it. I mean, I seen him. He's improved over Texas. I seen a recent shot. See if you have the side chest picture that he posted just a couple days ago, right there. I mean, his pec is just like
Yeah, that's
looking nutty from this.
He took last year off, didn't he?
Yeah, he didn't compete at all last year. And actually, did he? No, he competed. He competed in the Arnold, which was the beginning of the year. So it's been over a year since he's stepped on stage prior to the Texas. So I mean, I think he's going to come into the show much. I mean, he seems to be improved from the Texas show where he placed second.
Yeah,
he did place second, right, to Ian. Then Phil Clayhar.
So you got Cedric. He's not doing it. Hassan Mustafa.
That's the guy. I mean, Hassan Mustafa is just freaking crazy.
Yeah, that's the guy I think I've seen with Flex. I think Flex will help him doing his posing. Ridiculous amount of muscle on his frame.
I mean, just friggin' just like unbelievable.
Yeah, he looks crazy.
I mean, just would love. I mean,
yep, that's the dude.
Yeah, Hassan Mustafa. I mean, just absolutely like crazy freak.
Yeah, that's a lot of muscle, man. Holy crap!
How tall is he? He can't be.
I don't know exactly. I mean,
I think he's wider than he is taller.
Where's that? Pull up that front like class, that most muscular, right there on the far. Where he's hitting the hands together, most muscular. I mean, just it's not a good shot. I want to.
Yeah, I can't see the front of his legs too well.
But if you could see, if you can find some videos where he's training in the gym, like prior to the show, I mean, someone's just seeing the muscle and movement is just like pull up that. Just seeing the muscle and movements is actually crazy. I mean, he's just like he has just slabs of muscle. I mean, look at the hamstring drop from the side.
Oh crap!
What the heck?
Wow.
I mean, if this guy like just finds the pieces to the puzzle and puts them together, I mean, he's just nuts.
Yeah, his back looks good.
Those are some. I mean, some of those pictures are just like. I mean,
it could be crisper, couldn't it?
Yeah, definitely from the back is like, just all around he can be crisper, but primarily from the back is just his his Achilles.
Let's see, Sergio Jr. I know he took some time off.
Is he doing it? Is he doing the Arnold?
Yeah.
Yep, he's the Arnold this year. Yep.
I saw a video of him the other day. It looks incredible.
Yeah, they're saying he's looking better and improved from his last showing. So he's gonna be definitely probably one of the guys to keep your eye out for.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Nick Walker. I mean, he's in the show as well.
Oh, Nick Walker's doing the Arnold.
Yeah, he's doing the Arnold.
Yeah, I can't find Sergio.
And, he's
Let's see, Sergio Justin Rodriguez.
Yeah, Justin's doing it.
Ian Valier, he's doing that one again. Is Ian getting a lot of slack for this one?
For doing the show?
Yeah, I know he got a lot of slack for doing the Texas one.
Well, yeah, I don't think he's getting slack for this show due to the lineup being as thick as it is. I mean, I don't think that's stupid that he got slack in the first place. That's absurd.
Yeah. About Akeem Williams.
Friggin' another beast right there, and he's been improving. So
yeah.
Last year he was what top 6. He was 6th at the Olympia last year, and he won the freaking pro this year.
Akeem the Beast.
And over the years it's been his. I mean, he has all the muscle in the world, but his skin just has this thicker quality to it. But it's been getting better and better. So hopefully, I mean, he's a freak too. So I mean,
How tall is he?
it's gonna be like 5'9", 5'10", maybe.
Oh, really?
4'11". No.
I think he's 5'9". I want to say 5 in that ballpark.
It's funny when they've got that much muscle, it makes them look shorter, doesn't it?
But the guy is just
That's
like
incredible. That front door bicep there, that's just incredible.
Yeah, no, it's nuts. And he has, I mean, his side shots, his front shots. I mean, it just the amount of density that he has and he carries is crazy.
See.
I mean, I mean, but you look at his the density of the muscle, and then you look at his training. He's a heavy, hardcore, you know, squats 800 pounds. I mean, I don't know how much he does that nowadays, but I mean, he's just an old school, you know, hardcore trainer. You know, used to, you know, deadlift 800 pounds, squat 800 pounds, and not that that's, you know, what's that? See the middle one right there where he's squatting? What's he have on the bar there?
It's like 8 plates, 9 plates.
He's got some, you know, like a 25 or something on the end there. Like, it gets deep down with it, and just. And I believe, I mean, back in the day, he never used to wear a belt too. It looks like he has a belt on now, but he used to do all these crazy lifts with no belt, no wraps, no gear, no nothing. I mean, just raw squatting it.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty badass.
So Nick Walker is also doing the show. He says, you know, he's coming to win. I mean, he says he's improved. I mean, and he has tons of muscle. I mean, so it's going to be a good show. I mean, it's
Rolly's in it too.
Yeah, I mean, Rolly's he's kind of like there's a big question mark still over his name due to the, you know, it's just absolutely freaky still, but he's not the same Rolly. He seems to have lost some size and overall, like, wow to his physique. I mean, who knows? People say that he's had an injury and hasn't been able to really train. So we shall see, man. We shall see.
Yeah, has Big Rammy been posting much? I haven't been really following much of these guys lately.
I mean, Rammy's very humble. I mean, he doesn't really post a lot of like physique pictures, which I can appreciate. I mean, he's the champ. He doesn't really have to, right?
Right.
Show up and do your thing, man. I mean, but he's in the States now. He's been with Dennis James for like the past week, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yep. So, and they're
what do you think? You think if you had social media back when you were bodybuilding, Ian, you would have stayed in the game?
Why? Why do you say that?
I don't know. I'm just wondering if it would have made you more popular, for one thing.
Don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, it was never.
Well, you think about it, because they only talked about you either at AFU1 or your magazine articles.
Yeah.
You think about it now, we just pull you up right here and they could talk about you.
Yeah, the big thing when I was competing was if you didn't go to Venice, California, and you weren't seen at Gold's, or you didn't live around the area to guest pose at shows, then you weren't going to do well. And I had a family, so there's no way I was going to live there permanently.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would have probably been able to publicize myself and be more visual than I was. But again, it was like the way Dorian did it. Dorian, I mean, they called him the Shadow because he'd come over and compete, then he'd go back to England and completely disappear. And, a lot of the European guys did the same thing, because I always said the difference between and this was me being naive back in the day as well, because I thought all of America was warm in the summer. I didn't realize that you actually had cold bits to it. But I always said, you know, a lot of American bodybuilders, they're in the sun all the time, so they want to be lean all the time. And if you lean all the time, you can't really grow. So like a lot of the European bodybuilders would go back, it'd be winter, no one's going to see you, so you're just eating and training. We say it's like putting a nose bag and blinkers on a horse. You know, your blinkers is your focus, and your nose bag is eat. And it would just eat, sleep, train, and it didn't matter what you looked like. It was just you were building quality muscle, and then you choose a show, diet down, and come back over and compete. But nowadays, it's just everything's more transparent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody sees everybody at every stage. It frustrates me sometimes because, you know, the big thing to me was you want to shock the people that you were competing against. When they saw you backstage, they didn't have a clue what you were looking like until they saw you when you took your top off backstage.
Yep.
And nowadays, a lot of people don't look as good on the day of the shows, the pictures they're posting on Instagram. That frustrates me because you're supposed to look better on the day of the show. That's supposed to be the peak.
Right.
You're supposed to look the best on that day.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they have filters on the pictures or something, but you know, a lot of these pictures I see, like, wow, that's incredible. But then you see them on stage, I'm like, well, that's not the guy I saw. But
yeah.
I was kind of guilty of that myself. I mean, I'd look really freaky good like 2 weeks out from a show, and then I'd maybe overdo things when I dieted down and just didn't have that freakiness or fullness as much. So it's not just the athletes. I mean, I did it.
Yeah.
Why do you think so many bodybuilders get out of the game? And I say that because, you know, all the ones that we've interviewed, these guys from the 80s and 90s, that just, you talk to them and they don't even lift weights anymore. I know, Ian, you're still in it. Some of the other guys are still in it, but even like Dorian very rarely lifts weights now. He does yoga. Why? I mean, obviously the health thing for what they were taking and things like that, but
I understand them not wanting to take gear anymore because I don't.
Some guys just disappear. Do you think it's the psychological, just getting small?
Yeah, I think like with me when I retired, I didn't accomplish what I set out to accomplish. I'm sure Ryan, you were the same. When you started competing, you want to win the Olympia, right?
Of course. I mean, I never thought I was going to win it, but I mean, of course, that's at least they step on the Olympia stage and get there, and you know, of course, try to be the best bodybuilder you can be. Yeah.
And I felt like I didn't accomplish what I set out to accomplish. So there was a lot of, I won't say resentment. It was like I felt like I retired and I still had something to prove. The best way I can describe it is, you know, my son used to play football, and when he stopped playing football, he was lost. And you see a lot of these things, path to the draft, where these kids just miss out on getting drafted and they've dedicated their whole life to being a football player, and then suddenly they've got nothing. I think a lot of those people end up psychologically messed up a little bit, you know, like they failed. And I think that a lot of it with me was I didn't accomplish what I wanted to accomplish, not through lack of effort, just from maybe being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Not really sure why, but I think that, I mean, I never even announced I was retiring. I just stopped competing.
Yeah,
and I literally disappeared.
Yeah.
I didn't say, hey guys, well, guess what? I'm done. I'm not anymore.
Well, you remember when we interviewed Milos? Milos was like, where did you go?
Yeah, no, yeah. No,
I looked around, you were gone.
Yeah. No, I just decided I wasn't going to do it anymore. And I didn't want, I think a lot of it with me, I didn't announce I was going to retire because I didn't want people trying to talk me out of it. You know, I didn't want people to say, oh, you should keep going for another 5 years and keep, and it's like, it's a very tough sport, and it's not just tough on the person that's doing it, it's tough on your family and your kids. A lot of people have to go through or sacrifice things, not just you. But I think a lot of it is just people get burnt out. I think when they've put all the effort and time and energy into training so hard and being so dedicated, once you decide that you're not going to do that anymore, then you're not going to eat 6-7 meals a day. Number one, that's the first thing that goes. And once that goes, your intensity in the gym starts to go away. And it's like I still train hard, but not like a bodybuilder anymore because of what I just had done. But I still train hard, but I nowhere near as hard as I used to. I mean, the level of intensity that I used to train with was, when I look back, it was nuts, really. But it was what was necessary to get to the level you want to compete at.
I agree 100%. I'm definitely not. I definitely don't train at the same level of intensity that I used to. And sometimes, some days I'll sit here and try to think about the possibility of trying to get back to that. I'm like, whoa, that's the idea of trying to get back to that place is like, that would be extremely tough.
Yeah.
because your mind and everything revolves around that for a long period of time. So if you step away and you kind of like close that part of your mind down, and you lose that killer instinct, and it kind of it can offset things, you know. So, and trying to duplicate that again, that's tough.
I see it on local levels. I can probably sit here and name 3 bodybuilders, 2 bikini girls that either they got to nationals and they didn't do well, or they got to nationals and got like second, 1 place away from a pro card, and just appeared.
Right.
Like I know one person that just totally stopped coming in the gym. Like I haven't seen him since he did nationals 2 years ago.
Right. Well, I mean,
You know,
I mean,
what was that guy's name? Aaron, the tall wrestler guy. He tried to go pro.
Yeah, he's in.
He's doing movies now out in California, but he went up to nationals. Aaron Reed went up to nationals and didn't make it, and he was done. He walked away.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think especially, I mean, and I think now with social media, I think you don't have to like really develop a brand around your name to be successful. I mean, if you have a social media and you can build a social media following, you can take that same energy and effort and put it into that. If it's just for like, if that's what you're trying to do, just build a brand and build a name. You don't have to be competitive where, you know, when I started, I mean, there was no social media, there was no nothing. So if you wanted to get a name for yourself, you're going to bust your ass in the gym.
You had to win titles, right? You
And
had to
win some
succeed at shows, yeah.
And you're going to get to some big shows and get your name in a magazine and get that notoriety. So, I mean, there was only one way to get the notoriety before, and now there's so many different avenues that, you know, you can take your physique and go down. Like with social media, it opens a lot more doors where people just kind of lose that competitive edge, and they're like, why would I want to put all my effort into the show when I can put my effort into doing this for my brand, and I can really build it. I mean, I was never like that. I can't identify with it, but you know, you see a lot of people go that route where they don't put the effort into the competing side of things, and they just take that same effort and they'll stay in great shape and they'll put it into their brand.
Yeah.
So
it's almost that a new type of business for a lot of people, hasn't it? Social media. I mean, there's a lot of people I see, I know personally, that make a lot of money from the social media accounts.
Yeah.
Never really accomplished anything except branded themselves. You know, they haven't won anything, or I don't just mean bodybuilding. You know, they haven't become a famous singer, or they haven't really got to the pinnacle of anything. They've just marketed themselves really, really well, and they're making a really good living out of it. Well, kudos to them.
Yeah, kudos to them, 100%. I mean,
Brian, we know a couple guys that are pretty famous on the internet.
Yeah, we're gonna have a few trying to get them on the show, right? Pop up and
are they all the memes you keep sending out?
Ian, you have no idea.
Yeah. Oh, I have an idea. Trust me, you're both nuts. You're both absolutely nuts.
So, Ian,
sometimes I get whenever it's a group text, and I'm like, oh, what's it going to do now? I have to be careful where I look at it.
Jason sent one.
Yeah, you might want to open it up by yourself.
So Ian, so listen to this. Yesterday was my birthday, right?
Yeah. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. So a lot of people would left me messages on my Facebook page saying happy birthday, family members, you know. So Jason went under a few of my family members wishing me a happy birthday and left those same little memes on on like 5 or 6 of them, and some people that I don't even know too, like that are friends.
I actually saw that. Yeah, I actually saw that.
Like, what the hell? I was like, Jason, I don't know how to respond to this, man. I don't know what you're doing.
I said, Ryan, I haven't met some of your family members, but they know who I am now.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Man. So.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dude, I was crying doing that, you know.
Yeah, he had me crying too. I was laughing so hard. This idiot. I was like, Patricia, my wife, I'm talking to my wife. I was like, do you see what this guy's doing? You see this? So,
Ian, when's your birthday?
I am telling you.
Well, I'll show up in his feed.
Yeah, we got plenty of time.
Dear, that's funny.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
So yeah, then let's see, after the Arnold comes
The Olympia.
Olympia, right? Yeah.
What date's the Arnold?
The 25th.
Next weekend, right?
Yes, next weekend.
And then the Olympias when?
2 weeks after that, I believe.
I think it's the 8th,
2 or
8th,
3.
9th, something like that. 6th or 7th, 8th, 9th, something like that.
It's 2
You
weeks
guys
after.
going?
I don't know yet. I'm waiting for them because usually they release more tickets at the last minute. So
Right.
I'm waiting to see if they release some. They usually do.
I probably won't make it. I mean, I don't know. I'm just a homebody. I like being home with my family, and
That's kind of what I'm like as well. Yeah.
and I'll watch it. Of course, I'll watch it online. I'll stream it and watch it online. And
Hmm.
so, I mean, I don't know. That's just me. I like getting out and going to some shows, but also I don't like the hustle and bustle of all the craziness. And
Yeah.
No, I don't either.
Ian, you gonna go or no?
I might do. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
let's go. If everybody's gonna go, I'll go. I mean, if you guys go, I'll go.
Now, if we go as a group, I'll go for sure. I mean, I kind of need to go because there's a lot of guys that, these people that I've
Yeah.
interviewed that I'm going to meet there, and I'm hoping to see them and talk to them and meet them face to face. I know Gabriel, he messaged me all the time, asked me if I'm still coming.
Yeah, he's competing, right? I mean,
Yeah,
he got
he's
what,
competing.
second last year.
He got second. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
See if he takes it. He's actually coming in a week early to Orlando, and I'm gonna probably pick him up and maybe go work out a little bit.
All right. Cool, man.
So I'll take him to a couple of the good gyms over there.
Yeah. And Kissimmee Muscle, Iron Religion, and
Yep.
CF Fitness over there. There's a bunch of good gyms in that area over there.
Yeah. But Iron Religion, see the freaking Rican.
Yeah. Gustavo. There,
Gustavo's over there.
Cool, man.
So
Gustavo Badal, right?
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to have him back on again because I had his number. I reached out to him a couple weeks ago just to say hi, how he's doing. He said he was doing good.
What does he do now?
He's got his own little personal training thing down there in Orlando.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, I guess it's doing good.
Cool. Yeah, I've never met him.
Hmm.
Incredible.
Yeah, Yeah, he's a nice guy. So
I think I'm gonna have like I said, I talked to AJ and he's ready to come on. So,
okay.
I mean, he's I don't know if you guys seen the classic physique winner that won the Texas Pro, the Robert Timms.
Yeah.
Well, that's AJ's his coach. He works with him. And he used to work with Logan Franklin, the guy that got second too, but Milos works with Logan now. So I'm trying to get him on. He said he's ready to come on whenever. He just had a kid, so it was kind of like hustle and bustle for him over the past couple of weeks, but he said he's ready to go whenever. So maybe next week.
Cool, man.
Charlie Claremont got back to me. He just had to do a show. He just promoted a show in England. He's been sick apparently. He said he'd get back to me next week. And then Eddie Elwood. Eddie's not actually replied to me. Eddie's real busy with going on protests about the vaccine and stuff. He's quite vocal about it all. So,
Yeah. Well, hopefully I have the next 2 weeks set. I got Chris Dim definitely next week. And then are you good with doing Wednesday? Because he can do Wednesday next week.
yeah, that works for me.
Okay, Wednesday at 7. And then the week after I've got Paul from Fuwad's.
Oh, he's gonna come back on.
Yeah, he's gonna come back on. I was gonna try to get him on the night, but he has to go. He's a judge too. He's a judge in Canada.
Okay.
So he had some shows he had to judge this weekend, but he said 2 weeks. He'll definitely just let him know that week
Cool.
what day he'll come on. So he's a cool guy. You guys will like him.
Who's that?
He is kind of Fuad Abied's training partner up there.
Right.
He's on the show with him.
What's his name?
Paul Lazone. Yeah, he's actually a U.S. Customs officer.
All right.
That's why him and I get along. Because I had him on the show a while back, and we talk all cop stuff and all that.
He's a U.S. Customs officer. Okay.
Yeah, he's Canada Customs.
Canada. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he's there. Yeah, because he's Canadian.
They're hardcore, aren't they? They busted a lot of people. I knew in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, just recently, some people got busted too here. in the IFBB for
Yeah, I saw that.
importing something, I believe, from Canada.
From Canada, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't mention the names, but I mean, that's
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. It's
Hmm.
crazy, actually. Crazy.
Yep. Cool. Well, hopefully all those plans work out. Of course, their schedule, our schedule, you never know.
yeah, it is what it is. So
Things go up and down. That's part of show business, right?
Yeah.
yeah, if all else fails, we'll just get Muslim on or Bruno.
Yeah, we'll get Bruno. What was our saying from last week's show? I can't remember it. What Phil called us, Ian? I put it as the theme of the show. I can't remember. Let me find it here.
What is that?
Hang on. Stand by.
Yeah, I recall it, but I don't know it off the top of my head.
Officially unofficial.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. There you
Yeah,
go.
that's us. We're officially unofficial. That's definitely our title.
Yeah.
So, all right, gentlemen. I don't have anything else. I appreciate y'all coming on.
Yeah, man. Fun. Good
Yep.
time. Good time. Good time.
Cool. Good deal, man. Yeah, got our guest next week, so we'll be rolling.
Cool.
All right.
Awesome. All right, gentlemen. Have a good evening.
All right. See you.